Blessings, beautiful beings. Thank you so much for joining me today for practice. This practice is going to be very active, so please take modifications as needed. I will offer those up. A lot of the moves and the flows are going to kind of repeat. We're going to see a lot of the same moves. So how this will work today is I will give you really super detailed instructions to start if you're just starting out and you're not sure about how to position yourself. And then as we repeat them, I won't give as many. So you can always look at me. I'll be demoing the moves as we go through this. Props that you might like would be, I would say, a blanket, and it could be a yoga blanket like I have here. It could be a towel, it could be really anything similar to this. It doesn't have to be an exact yoga blanket. A bolster is really nice if you want something to pad your head at the end or underneath your knees. The other thing that I would suggest are yoga blocks. Those are really nice to have. Even if you're experienced, they're nice to have because sometimes they're not quite warmed up. And those are just nice to have until you're warmed up and you can go into the full posture if you're there. If you're just starting out, those yoga blocks are great to bring the ground up to you. If you don't have yoga blocks, no worries. You can use like big, thick textbooks or just anything that you have around that will bring the floor up to you. All right, so we are going to actually start today in extended child's pose. So I will have you come onto the mat, bring your knees as wide as the mat, big toes to touch, and on an inhale, look forward, exhale, shift the hips back towards the heels, walk your hands forward and lower your forehead to the mat. If your forehead does not reach the mat, you can always, again, use blocks or towels or blankets or anything to bring the floor up to you. We're just going to start out really chill. We're going to move into this. It's going to be, like I said, very active. I will probably end up losing the hoodie and the socks because I'll probably be sweating here in a little bit. All right, so let's lower our heads. Let's take a moment to just go inside and to breathe, just taking this break for ourselves. Take nice, big, deep inhales, and then make sure to fully exhale. All right, let's do one more big inhale together. Exhale, let it all go. When you're ready, slowly peel your head up from the mat. Take a look at the camera and look at Mr. Sam the Spoofus that came to say hello. Say hello to the peoples. All right, we are going to walk up to all fours. We're going to warm up our spine a little bit. So go ahead and hands underneath your, yuck. Hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hip points. And on an inhale, we're going to drop the lower ribs down, lift our chest, lift our tail, look forward, coming into a cow pose. And on the exhale, round through the spine, tucking the tail, tucking the head, cat. Inhale, coming into a cow. Exhale, cat. Go ahead and do this a few more times, just at your own pace, on your own breath. If one of these postures feels better to you or feels really good, if you have any kind of sticking points, you can stay there for a few breaths. Just really move into your body, feel into it. All right, we'll do one more together. So on our inhale, we're going to drop those lower ribs, lift the head, lift the tail, look forward. Exhale, round through the spine. Tuck the tail, tuck the head. When you're ready, go ahead and bring that to neutral. Now from here, so I always have these puppies around, so we're going to go into a puppy posture. So to transition, we're going to come onto our forehands. So drop your elbows where your hands just were. And then from here, just walk your feet back, and we're going to melt your knees back, and we're going to melt our chest and our heart to the mat and our forehead. So kind of like a child's pose, kind of like a downward dog, but different. It's like a mix of them. This is a big heart opening pose. You should feel a nice stretch in your armpits and through your pecs. We'll take one more inhale and exhale here. And then when you're ready, we're going to look forward. Go ahead and shift your weight forward, and we're going to come down onto our belly. So you might need to kind of reposition yourself on your mat, but your arm position is going to be pretty much the same as it was in that puppy posture. So you're going to have your two parallel train tracks, your hips down on the mat, chest rising, so kind of like a little baby cobra. This is called a sphinx pose, so imagine you're a sphinx out there in the deserts of Egypt. While you're here, make sure you're not collapsing into your arms. So you can see here I'm just kind of collapsing. You want to press away from the ground. Make sure that your shoulder blades or your shoulders aren't coming up as earrings. You're not shrinking down. So lift up tall and proud, and breathe. Now before we move into our next posture, I am going to get rid of these socks. If you have on socks, depending on where you're at, remove them unless you've got some sort of stickiness on the bottom of them, that way you don't slide. From here, go ahead and come back up into your tabletop position. So go ahead and push yourself up, walk your knees back underneath your hips. And then if your hands are like mine and underneath my shoulder and underneath your shoulders, you're just going to walk your handprints one handprint in front of where they were. From here, go ahead and tuck your toes under. Inhale, look forward, and on the exhale, press through your palms, lift the knees up off the mat, straighten through the legs, push up and back, and we're coming into our first down dog. While we're here, go ahead and walk your dog. Bend one knee and then the other. Just warming up through the legs a little bit. We're going to be quite active. They're going to get a good little workout here. And then when you're ready, go ahead and bring that to stillness and just breathe. Let your head hang loose. It's okay if your heels don't reach the mat. On your next inhale, look forward up at your hands, and we're going to make our way to the top of the mat. So go ahead and you can take little baby steps if you'd like. I kind of like the little baby steps, just getting started. If it's in your practice to jump all the way up to the top in one move, go ahead and do that. From here, keep your knees a little bit bent. We're coming into our first forward fold. Now this is a good place to where if you have blocks or something to bring the ground up to you to use them. Your hamstrings may not be quite warmed up yet, so your hamstrings are this muscle back here, the back of your thighs. So that may not quite be warmed up yet and stretched out. So sometimes it can help to have blocks, and you can put them on any position. That's the high, there's the medium. You can also just have your fingertips on the ground, or if you're able to, you can put your whole palm on the ground. Make sure you're not rounding through your spine though and collapsing. If you round through your spine and you're really bending through your legs, you're going to feel it more in your lower back. You're going to want to feel that more in your hamstrings though, so you'll want to straighten your legs a little bit but not lock them out. And you'll also want to keep your back as straight as possible. Alright, so now we are in our forward fold position. On an inhale, come up halfway, keep a nice flat back, so you're kind of like a number 7. Make sure you're not locking the knees out like I just did there. And then on an exhale, go ahead and let it go. I'll just breathe here for just a moment. Take one more big inhale here. And then on the exhale, go ahead and push through the feet and then start to straighten through the legs and slowly, slowly start to roll up to a standing posture. Once you're at the top, you can lift your shoulders up, back and down. Adjust your clothing, your hair, anything you need to adjust. And then when you're ready, bring it to stillness. We're coming into a strong grounding mountain pose. So your hip should be in line with your knee, in line with your heel. Same with your shoulder and head. So go ahead wherever you're at, just breathe for now. Feel the earth or your mat underneath you. Really tap into that sensation. It can be really healing and really nice to ground back into the earth and to feel that magnetism, I want to say, coming up from the ground, because we are first electrical and then second we are chemical. So rebalancing through that grounding with the earth is so good, especially if your mind is just all over the place. So it can help to kind of bring everything back to the center, ease anxiety and things like that. All right, when you're ready on an inhale, let's reach our arms up to the sky and just hold them there. Now, from here, make sure that when you're reaching up, this is volcano pose, so imagine like a big volcano exploding. Make sure that your arms, your shoulder blades and your shoulders, you're not wearing them as earrings. You want to keep your shoulders looped up and back. So I'm going to inhale and loop my shoulders up, back, and down. So there's a little bit of space between my arms. They're not close together. Keep your chest nice and lifted. You should feel a nice side body stretch here. Keep breathing. One more big inhale here. And then on an exhale, go ahead and float it down. We're going to go back into our forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway, nice flat back. Exhale, let it go. On your next inhale, we'll step one foot back and then the other, and we're coming into our first plank pose. Now, if plank pose is not in your practice, go ahead and lower to your knees. You can still be in like a half plank pose here. Just make sure that you're not too far up to where like you're more on all fours. Also make sure you're not dropping down so you're like in an upward dog here. So you want to keep a little bit of a angle in your body so you still feel your ab muscles turning on. If you are in full plank, make sure that you're really pressing back through your heels. Same things apply. Make sure your hips aren't dipping too far down and that they're not lifting up. So nice straight line, look down, breathe. We won't be here for very long. One more big inhale here. And on an exhale, go ahead, you can lower to the knees and then lower onto the belly, or you can lower in one line just onto your belly. So you have options there, either to the knees if you're not already, and then lower down, or all the way down in one plane. As we do additional planes, I'm going to be coming down in one line. So you'll see that, but know that you can also you can just lower down, or you can go to your knees first. Bleh, words are hard. All right. From here, I know we did a little bit of a back warm up. We're going to do a little bit more. So from here, on an inhale, make sure your hands are underneath your shoulders. So where my hands are right underneath my shoulder, tops of your feet firmly into the mat. And on an inhale, I'm just going to lift my nose and look forward. So I'm in a baby cobra right now. I'm going to grow it a little bit more later on once I'm a little bit more warmed up. And you are welcome to do that too. Just breathe here. For those of you practicing that this is new, if when we go into a full cobra, if that doesn't feel good in the back, if you have any crunchiness in your lower back, come back to this baby cobra. That will help to strengthen your back, so then eventually you can build up to that much bigger cobra. Adult cobra. That sounds bad. All right, one more inhale here. Exhale, we'll lower the forehead to the mat. Now, for this first transition, I'm going to give you one way, which you can do through the whole practice. As we go, we're going to transition through this a couple of times, so I'm going to give you options. This is level 1 that we're going to do this first time. On an inhale, go ahead and come up to all fours. You can see my hands are a little bit more in front of me. That's where I want them to be. I'm going to tuck my toes under. Inhale, I'm going to look forward, and then on the exhale, I'm going to lift my knees up off the mat, straighten through the legs, and shift into a downward dog. From here, just breathe. So we're going to go through that kind of Vinyasa flow a few times. So again, I'm going to give you some options, but it'll go a little bit quicker each time, because we don't want to be here all day. Or maybe you do. All right, on your next inhale, go ahead and lift your right foot up. Keep your toes dialed down towards the floor. And then on the exhale, bend through the knee, shift forward, look forward, bring that knee into your chest. We're going to step that right foot in between our hands, lower that left leg or the left knee down to the mat. You can untuck the toes or you can leave them tucked. And we're going to come into a nice low lunge. Now in this low lunge, you want to keep your front leg, so I'm going to keep my right leg at a 90-degree angle. So it's at a nice 90-degree angle here. Make sure that you can still see your big toe, so push that knee out. And then again, this is another place where blocks can be really good to bring into your practice, to bring that floor up to you. You don't want to collapse and around through the back trying to reach the mat. You want to keep your chest nice and lifted. You want to lengthen. You should feel a nice stretch in the front of your left quad. Breathe. One more big inhale here. And then on your exhale, go ahead and shift your hips back. Peel the toes of your right foot up off the mat. Keep the heel on the mat and just walk your fingertips back. You should feel a nice stretch in that right hamstring. From here, breathe. One more big inhale here. And then on the exhale, go ahead and walk it back forward, coming back into that low lunge. Tuck the toes of your left foot, lift that knee up off the mat. We're going to step our right foot back to meet our left foot, coming into that plank. Again, you can drop to the knees if you'd like. Breathe. One more big inhale here. And then on the exhale, go ahead and lower down to the belly. Either coming to the knees first, or you can come in one straight line like I just did. From here, we are going to move into cobra, so either move into your baby cobra, or on your next inhale, go ahead and rise up into full cobra. So to go into full cobra, you're just going to push through the hands, rise up through the chest. And your chest is almost going to be coming forward and not so much up. So you're going to push forward and not as much up. Again, if you have any crunchiness in the lower back, go back down to that baby cobra or maybe lower down a little bit. Breathe. One more big inhale here. Exhale, go ahead and lower back down. All right, from here we're going to transition into down dog. So I gave you one option the first time. I'm going to give you the second option. So if this does not work for you, then go ahead and come to all fours and then move into your down dog. Otherwise, come with me. We will all meet in down dog together. I'm going to go ahead and tuck my toes. On an inhale, go ahead and inhale to just get started. And then on your exhale, you're going to push through your hands and come back through that plank. Inhale again, and then on the exhale, shift into down dog. And breathe here just for a moment. All right, on your next inhale, make sure your right foot is firmly planted in the mat. And we're going to lift that left leg off the ground, keeping the toes pointed towards your mat. Exhale, shift forward, look forward, bring that left leg into your heart space. And then we're going to step that left foot in between our hands, lower down onto the right knee and foot, and come into that low lunge. Make sure you're breathing. One more big inhale here. And then on the exhale, we'll walk it back and come into that hamstring stretch. So we'll peel those toes up off the mat, keeping that left heel on the floor. Looking forward again, you should feel a nice stretch through your hamstring here. Breathe. Right, when you're ready, let's go ahead and walk it forward back into that low lunge. We'll tuck our right toes under, lift the right knee up off the mat, step our left foot back to meet our right foot, coming into our plank. We'll take just a couple breaths here. One more inhale, and then on the exhale, go ahead and lower down. Inhale, rise up to your cobra, breathe. One more inhale here. Then on the exhale, go ahead and lower down. All right, we're going to move to down dog, so I will meet you there. So I'm going to inhale. Exhale, I'm going to come into my plank. Inhale again, and then exhale, transitioning into down dog. All right, on my next inhale, I'm going to look forward and then make my way to the top, back into that forward fold position. Inhale, come up halfway flat back. Exhale, let it all go. On your next exhale, go ahead and roll it up. Make any adjustments you need, and we're going to come into our mountain pose here. I'm actually starting to get a little hot, so I'm going to remove my hoodie. All right. All right, on your next inhale, reach your hands up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway, flat back. Exhale, let it go. When you're ready, we're going to step one foot back and then the other, coming into that plank pose for just a breath. Inhale and exhale here. And when you're ready, lower down onto the belly. Inhaling, coming up to cobra. Exhaling, let it go. Inhale, coming up to plank or to all fours. And then on your exhale, shifting it back to down dog. All right, so that's going to kind of be the pace in between some of these transitions. If you need to go slower, go slower. All right, when you're ready, on an inhale, we'll lift our right leg up, toes dial down. Exhale, shift the weight forward, look forward. We're going to step our right foot in between our left, or in between our knees, or in between our hands. Ooh, anatomy is hard. Now you can lower down onto your knee, or you can keep it raised. I'm going to keep mine raised this time. And then just look forward, breathe for a few counts. And then when you're ready, I'm going to plant my left palm. And then I'm going to stretch my right palm up towards the ceiling, twisting my torso in towards the inner right thigh. And just breathe here. One more big inhale here. Exhale, let it go. Return back to that low lunge. From here, we're going to step our foot back to meet our left foot, coming back into that plank for just a beat. One more big inhale here, and then exhale, lower down onto the belly. All right, on your next inhale, let's rise up into our cobra, and then just pause here for a moment and breathe. One more big inhale here. Exhale, let it go. So I'm going to try and play with the tempos a little bit. So there's going to be some flows that go a little faster than others, and then some I'll slow down. So again, if any of these don't work for you, it's okay. Just do the best you can. All right. I'm going to inhale, and then exhale, shift into my plank once again. Inhale again, and then exhale, shifting it up and back to down dog. And breathe. All right, on my next inhale, I'm making sure my right foot is firmly planted. I'm going to lift my left leg up. And then exhale, bending at the knee, shifting forward, looking forward. I'm going to step my left foot in between my hands. I got it that time. And move into my lunge. Again, you can lower that knee or you can keep it lifted. Just breathe wherever you're at. When you're ready, go ahead and plant your right palm. We're going to turn our torso towards the inside of our left knee and then lift our left arm up towards the sky. Breathe. One more breath here. And then exhale, let it go. Plant that hand. We're gonna step our right foot back to meet the left. Coming back into that plank pose. Breathe. One more big inhale here. And then exhale, lower down to the belly. All right. Inhale, we'll press into our cobra and hold and breathe just for a beat. On your next exhale, go ahead and lower it back down. All right, we're gonna move back into down dog. So go ahead and transition there and I'll meet you there. Now, if you're feeling really hot, you can do what's called lion's breath. So on an inhale, you'll take your regular inhale, but when you exhale, you'll stick your tongue out and breathe out through your mouth. So it's funny looking, but it works. So take a few of those if you need to. On your next inhale, go ahead and make your way up towards the top of your mat. Once again, we're going to come back into that forward fold. Once again, we're going to flow. So inhale, come up halfway flat back. Exhale, let it go. Forward fold. On your next exhale, go ahead and roll it all the way up into your strong mountain pose. We'll hold there for just a breath. On your next inhale, reach your hands up towards the sky. Exhale, bring it all back down, forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway flat back. Exhale, let it all go. When you're ready, step one foot back in the other, moving back into our plank pose. And then on your next exhale, lower down to the mat. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, coming back down. And then when you're ready, we'll transition back to down dog. So inhaling, exhaling, coming back through plank. And then exhaling, down dog. Good job, guys. I know it's challenging. It's okay though, it's good. All right, on your next inhale, we'll go ahead and lift our right leg up once again. Exhale, shift forward, look forward. We're gonna plant our right foot in between our knees, or in between our hands up. Step your left foot up a little bit and keep it at a 45-degree angle. From here, on your inhale, rise up through your center. We're gonna come into a warrior one. So your legs should be on parallel train tracks. Your front knee is going to be the same as it would be in a low lunge. So you want that 90-degree angle. You want to be able to see your big toe. And then you want to press back through the knife edge of whatever foot is in the back. Hips should be towards the short edge of your mat. Your hands can be on your waist. They could be at a prayer position. Or you can raise them up to the sky, coming into your strong warrior pose. This is warrior one. And breathe. One more big inhale here. Exhale, float your arms down. Go ahead and lower your hands to the mat. You can adjust your stance on your left foot. So I'm going to come back into kind of that low lunge again. Then I'm going to step my right foot back to meet my left. So coming back through that plank, and I'm going to hold there for just a breath or two. One more big inhale here. Exhale, lower down. Ooh. Inhale, coming into cobra. Stay here for just a moment. Breathe, kind of catch your breath. I know this is challenging. You're doing a great job. And then when you're ready, lower back down. All right, let's make our way to down dog. So I will meet you there. All right, once you're there, just go ahead and take a moment to breathe. All right, when you're ready, let's go ahead and plant our right foot. Lift your left foot up, keeping your toes dialed down. Inhale. Exhale, shift your weight forward, bring your knee into your chest. We're gonna step our left foot into that low lunge position. Go ahead and come up a little bit on that right foot, keeping it at a 45-degree angle. And we're gonna move into our warrior one posture. So make any adjustments you need to. Again, your hands can be at your hips. It can be heart center, or you can lift them up towards the sky and breathe. One more big inhale here. Exhale, let it go. All right, go ahead and adjust your feet. We're gonna move back into that plank. So I'm just gonna pivot on that right foot. I'm gonna step my left foot back, coming back into plank once again. Breathe. Actually, I think this is our last plank. So let's make it a good one. One more inhale here. And then exhale, let's lower down to the belly. Woo. I think it's the last plank. I'm thinking, yeah, it's our last one. Yay! All right, inhale, let's rise up into our cobra. Should be feeling nice and loose now, nice and warm. Feeling that energy move through your body. On your next exhale, let's go ahead and melt it down. All right, let's make our way into a down dog. We're gonna get a break just here in a real quick second. Let's go ahead and transition to down dog first though. I'll meet you there. All right, on your next exhale, go ahead and drop to your knees. We're gonna get off the wrist for just a moment. We're gonna come back into that extended child's pose. So bring your knees as wide as the mat, big toes to touch. Inhale, look forward, and then exhale, sink your hips back, walk your fingertips forward, and let your head just melt into the mat. Take a moment to breathe, to recover. We have a little bit more to do, but let's take this break and just enjoy it and relish in it. All right, on your next inhale, go ahead and look forward. Bring your knees back underneath your hip points. We're gonna go back into that down dog. So I'm just gonna tuck my toes. My arms are good where they're at. If you need to bring them forward a little bit, go ahead and do so. Here in my mouth. Get all of that out. All right, so I'm gonna inhale here. And then exhale, lifting up through the legs, shifting the weight back just for a beat. I'm gonna breathe here for a moment. right, and then on your next inhale, look forward at your hands. We're gonna make our way back up to the top of the mat, back into forward fold. So I'm gonna inhale, come up halfway, flat back. Exhale, let it all go. And I'm gonna stay here for a moment and just breathe, letting it all loose. You can shake your head side to side. You can grasp or take your hands into your elbows and you can swing side to side, kind of like an elephant trunk. Whatever feels good to you. All right. Now wherever you're at, really ground into your feet. Sink, bend through your knees generously. You're going to bring your torso onto the tops of your thighs. So you're going to kind of like you're squatting down. And then lift your torso up. Make sure to tuck that pelvis under. And we're coming into a chair pose. Now your hands can be at prayer position, they can be on your hips, or you can bring them forward and breathe here. This is a great move for my ladies who don't like to use public toilets, porta potties, or anything like that. That will help to strengthen those muscles so you don't have to. On your next inhale, press through the feet, straighten through the legs, lift all the way up, big stretch, and then let it all go. Whew. I need to take a moment to breathe there. I was blacking out a little bit. It happens. Sometimes you get so into it, you gotta take a breath. All right, so I laugh. This is a vibe today. And for this week, it's been a long week. So this next move is challenging. I'm going to challenge you to try it. Even if you don't feel like you can, it's okay. We're going to try it. I'm going to give you options. I don't do it very often, but we're going to try it. It's a good balancing pose. You're going to use a lot of your core and leg strength. We're warmed up, so we should be good to do this. So what you're going to want to do, I'm trying to think of how best to show you this. So you want to get real grounded in your feet. So come into your mountain pose. Make sure you're really nice and grounded. And then to start, go ahead and lift your right leg up. Now you can catch it if you need a little assistance with balance. Or you can just do like a one-legged Tadasana, one-legged mountain pose. And then from here, keep your hands at your chest, or they can be on your waist too. I'm going to step back a little bit. And then when you're ready, you're going to take that right foot back, shift your hips forward, keep a nice little bend in your left leg here. And then you're going to come forward and straighten that right leg out behind you. So you're coming into a warrior 3. Now, you can see I fell down. If you have something to grab onto, if you're new to this practice, like I have this little weight bench here, or my little weight rack here, you could grab onto something like that. You want to keep your toes dialed down, your hips towards the floor, so you don't want to be opening up like this. You want to keep everything dialed down and make sure you're not straightening through your standing leg. You want to have a little bit of a bend in it, and then you can get your balance. Now for your hands, again, they can be at your hips, they can be at your heart. You can bring them back like airplane arms. Sometimes it can help with balance. Or the full posture is you straighten them in front of you while your foot is back. So let me see if I can get into a full posture. If you're watching me, perfect. While we do this explanation. If you're playing, perfect too. Do you. All right, ready? All right. So let's see. All right. So you can be here. I'm not super low. You could be here. You could be here. You could be here. You could even, if you want to try it, you can even bring your toe back behind you and keep your toes on the floor and then just work through that one leg. So you have options. All right, so if you're not trying it, let's go ahead and give it a try now, just for a couple breaths, and then we'll move to the other side. So again, do what's best for you. It's not going to be right for everybody. So do what feels good to you. All right. We'll take one more breath wherever you're at. And then when you're ready, shake it off. Come back into your mountain pose. How did you do? Even if you tried it and it didn't go the way you wanted it to, that is okay. Don't beat yourself up. Just, it takes practice. You can see I was even struggling doing that as well. So it's a very difficult pose. So give yourself props for even trying it. It's a great balancing posture, so it's something that you can just continue to come back to and try. So I wanted to give you that tool. That way you could take it and use it later on or not. Completely up to you. If you're having trouble balancing, finding a spot on the floor right in front of you that is not moving is helpful. Now we have to do the other side. So I won't spend as much time on the explanation because we already went through it and you have to hear me blah. But we'll just move right on to the other side. So go ahead and make sure your weight is shifted to your right foot. And I don't think I said this on the left side. So when you shift your weight over, you don't want to dump all your weight into your hip. So you can see if I'm just dumping my weight into my right hip, you can see my right hip shoves out. We don't want to do that. You want to, when you shift, you want to keep standing up. So you want to keep that lift up. All right, so I'm in my mountain pose. All right, I'm going to shift my weight over to my right foot. I'm going to lift my left foot up, coming into that one-legged Tadasana. Again, you can grab your leg and hold onto it if you'd like. And then when you're ready, we're going to just hinge at the hips, taking that foot behind us, bending forward. Again, airplane arms, hips. You can even be forward. Woo! And wherever you're at, go ahead and bring it forward. If you fell out, no worries. It happens. It takes a while. Laugh at yourself, come back into it. Try it again. If you're doing this from home, no one can see you. It's just you. Don't beat yourself up. It's a very challenging move. All right. We're going to start to transition back down to the ground. So hard stuff is pretty much out of the way. So we're going to inhale. So go ahead and come back to your mountain pose. Shake it off. Take a breath or two here. Inhale, reach the arms up to the sky. Exhale, let it all go. Coming down into that forward fold once again. Inhale, flat back, come up halfway. Exhale, come back down. We're going to breathe here for just a moment. All right, I'm going to turn to face you guys. So from your forward fold, go ahead and bend at your knees and come down into kind of a little ball here. You can walk your feet out as wide as they need to be. And we're going to come into what's called a yogic squat. So my feet are flat on the mat. And I'm just going to shift my booty back and press my hands together and come into this nice yogic squat. My chest is lifted. If this is not good for your knees, if this is not good for you, then just come into whatever position feels better to you. Maybe your heels need to be up. And if so, that is perfectly okay. Or maybe you're not going to go as low as that. You can come into like a goddess pose. So something like this. Wherever it feels good to you. If you can get down into this yogic squat, then go ahead and make your way there. It might take a little bit of adjustments. I like to kind of rock my hips side to side until I can get into it and get my foot placement right. If you press your elbows, so here I'm not pressing my arms or my elbows in between my knees, and my knees are kind of collapsing everything in. My back is super rounded. Now if I take my hands together and I press, I can lift up through my chest and I get a good stretch through my inner thighs. We won't be here for long. All right, one more breath wherever you're at. And then exhale, go ahead and plant your hands on the floor. I'm going to bring one hand behind me and then the other, and I'm going to transition in onto my booty. All right. So we've got a few more, I would say, challenging poses. So we're going to work on our abs a little bit more. We're going to go into what's called a boat pose. Now again, this may not be appropriate for everybody. Go with what feels good to you in your body. I'm going to give you guys some options here. So for boat pose, you're going to want to be sitting on your booty, feet planted on the floor, knees bent. Now option one, you're just sitting up nice and straight and tall. You can bring your hands behind your thighs here and breathe. Option one. Option two, maybe you play with lifting a foot up, then maybe another foot up, and you just play there. Option three, maybe you lift both feet up while holding on. Option four, let go of your thighs. If you want to go into full boat pose, straighten your legs, lift your chest up, and let it all go. Then you're going to shake, you're going to tremble. It's okay. Breathe. And then when you're ready, let it all go. Whew. That was our last super challenging pose. You did it, you made it. Good job. We're going to start to cool it down now, so don't fret. And again, you can come back to any of those poses. I have different levels of people that watch these videos, so I like my Vinyasa Flows. I haven't done any in a while, so I wanted to do one. But I think it's good for people that are new, who maybe aren't as comfortable, to also get a little exposure, because it's things that you can work towards. There's always a modification. You don't have to go full into it. I've done this for a while, and it's good I don't want to push you past your edge, but I definitely want to make sure that you're challenged, because when you're challenged, you're not going to be bored. You're just sitting there and you're bored, then your mind wanders, and then you start to panic, and it defeats the whole purpose. All right, let's lay on our backs. Ugh. All right, we're gonna twist it out a little bit. Twists are really good for your internal organs to move crap around. So on an inhale, let's go ahead and bring our right knee into our chest. Breathe here for a moment. And when you're ready, we're gonna take that right knee and we're gonna cross it over our midline over to the left. Go ahead and take your right arm out, so it's anchoring you down into your mat or the ground. Make sure that your right shoulder blade is still on the floor. If it starts to come up as you twist, come out of the twist a little bit. And breathe wherever you're at. Only go as far as it feels good in your body, and everyone's going to be different. So if you're not here, it's okay. Don't beat yourself up. One more big inhale here. And then exhale, return back to center. Extend out that right leg. Let's just take a couple breaths here. Just to reset and cool it down. All right, when you're ready, let's bring our right knee into our chest. We'll just prepare by taking a few breaths here. One more big inhale here. And then on your exhale, let's extend our left arm straight out from the shoulder, and we're going to take that left leg across the midline of the body. Look over towards your left palm if you'd like. Make sure that that shoulder blade is still on the mat. You should feel a nice twist here in your lower back area. And just breathe. Looks like I have no neck here. One more big inhale here. And then on an exhale, let's return back to center. Extend that leg out for just a moment. All right, so we're gonna do one more. I'm not gonna call it a challenging pose. It can be, but we're not gonna make it challenging. We're gonna make it nice and gentle. So go ahead. Oh, it's a Fritz. We haven't seen Fritz in the scene. Hi, Bubs. No, we're not done yet. All right. Oh, I'm being attacked. My dogs. All right, so let's go ahead and place your feet firmly on the mat, hips distance apart. And then when you're ready, make sure that you are peeling up from the spine. We're just going to lift our hips up. So we're going to come into a bridge pose. I'm going to try and come into a bridge pose. So you can see I'm lifting up. If this is a lot on your spine, you can bring a block underneath. If you are familiar with hip thrust at the gym, this is kind of what people do, you know, with the hip thrusting. Breathe. And then when you're ready, go ahead and lower back down, bringing your back to the mat. It should feel pretty good. That just helps to kind of release some of that tension. So we twisted, and now we're just kind of releasing that. All right, when you're ready, let's bring both knees into our chest. Give yourself a hug. Thank your body for what it just did for you. Like that was challenging. That was not an easy flow. But your body was able to do it. You were able to do it. And that's awesome. And there's a lot of power in that. All right, one last thing, and then we'll move into our corpse pose, our shavasana, our final resting posture. The last thing I want you to do is I want you to roll your head up into your knees. I want you to really bring your knees in, clench your fist, grip your toes, make everything, just contract everything. Bring it all in. Just really squeeze, 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 squeeze a little tighter, squeeze a little tighter, and then let it all go. Extend your legs out if you can. Let your arms fall down at the side. Let it all go. Let your feet fall out and then just breathe. Let the benefits of the practice just marinate through your body. Feel that energy and the prana just moving throughout all areas of your body. Close the eyes and then just take a few moments to breathe and relax into your mat. Now I'm going to go quiet on my end. I'm going to quit talking, but I will bring you out shortly. So I'm going to give you some time just to relax and to enjoy this moment of stillness. So the card I pulled for practice today is Panther Spirit, and its message is to reclaim your power, which I think we did. We made it through that workout. We're pretty powerful. Are you feeling shaky because you have made a bold move and have not yet seen confirmation that everything is going to work out? Or is fear holding you back? Are you afraid to act until all risk of failure has been removed? The moment when there is no risk whatsoever will never come. So follow the urging of Panther Spirit within and look your fear in the eye. Have you ever heard the famous line, "The only thing we have to fear is fear itself"? Stare down your fear, and it will retreat and make way for your courage to fill you from head to toe. Perhaps you are afraid you can't trust the power that is rising in you, and you fear the qualities you will find within when you look deeply at why you resist the challenge before you. Every part of you, no matter how dark it may seem, has a light quality. So be bold and face it. Own the light and make peace with your shadow. Spirit trusts you, so be brave and trust yourself. All right, if you are able to stay in Shavasana, I would recommend that you stay in as long as time allows. If you do need to go, then go ahead and slowly start to deepen your breath. Begin to wiggle your fingers and toes, just bringing movement back into them. And when you're ready, go ahead and place your feet firmly on the mat, leaving your knees bent. Roll to your favorite side and then just stay there in a little fetal position for just a couple breaths. When you're ready, go ahead and push yourself up to a comfortable seat, bringing your head and neck up last. And whenever you're ready, go ahead and open up your eyes to the world around you. So thank you again so much for joining me for practice today and for sharing your time and your energy and your practice with me and with others that are watching this video. I know right now things are really tough, but you are powerful. Remember to take time to rest and to do things for yourself. You can't take care of others if you are not taking care of yourself. So please make your self-care a priority, no matter what it is. If it's yoga, if it's vegging on the couch, if it's taking a nap, a walk, do what feels good in your body. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of overwhelm that I'm seeing, a lot of sadness, a lot of anger. So please make sure you're taking care of yourself. Next week, I will have a free June practice ready to go for everyone. So I hope I will see you there. Please make sure to like and subscribe and share my videos or my channel with others that you think would enjoy it. Please stay safe this week. Be well. I will see you next week. Namaste.